And the killer part about it is, historically, like through the whole Jim Crow slash post Jim Crow segregation, when we created our own fucking communities and we're fucking thriving, here these motherfuckers come in burning our shit down to the ground. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I know that's right. Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
Blowing in the booty hole.
Nasty Pig and FUBU.
And ask the auntie, I got a U-Haul. So get your cups ready for Minoritea support.
All right,
Okay,
here we go.
good.
Episode
Yeah, we good.
106. All right.
Damn, bitch. 106.
I know, 106 on part, bitch. All right,
Ow, that's
right. 1, 2, 3.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I'm not recording.
Wait a minute.
Wait
I'm over here messing with my hair.
Loud. He said, loud to now. Watch out now. It's the little one. And I'm not.
It's a little one and not bow wow.
All right, here we go. Episode 106. 1, 2, 3. Well, hello, ladies.
Hey. Hey, community.
Right, exactly. It's a just from the jump, it's a wig episode, so get ready.
Yeah. Get ready.
It's
yeah.
a wig episode. Welcome to Minority Report.
Already got sass and attitude.
Okay,
It's like I said right before we started recording. I was like, we all happen to pick a wig that I think really exemplifies like our personality without even like trying to do that.
I agree with that statement. I agree. I'm definitely Auntie Vodka today. And who y'all are? Who y'all is?
I am definitely Auntie Henny, okay?
And I'm Auntie Chardonnay.
Yes, and I love that.
With a bang, I'm right there on time. Okay.
Baby, it's the bar for me. It's the bar for me. Yes, ladies. Oh man. So community, hopefully you're doing all right today. Whenever you're listening to this, man, like today, like I woke up. Have you ever just woke up with like one of them badass, like, did you say crick or crook in your neck?
I say a crook.
I say crick.
Oh, you say crick? I say crook in my neck, but I know some people say both ways. I can't really turn to my right. Like it's like down.
Not tweet. She can't do it. Look over to my left.
That's all I can do. Because it's like all down like my shoulder blade. I'm like, I don't know how I slept last night, but Jesus, one of them nights.
That was me a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, you know, don't touch me. Don't breathe on me. I was like, I need to figure out how the hell I'm gonna get this sleep.
Literally.
But she got it though. She got it. But oof.
And how you doing out there with all that snow?
I was basically gone, but you know, it was a nice 11 inches. It was a nice 11 inches.
Ooh, a nice 11. Okay. Like a nice 11.
That'll destroy you.
Yeah.
Right, that's,
okay. Well, I mean, some of us, maybe
that's
not.
What they call rosebud weather.
Oh, damn.
And she's in bloom. Okay. No. Stop. But no, honestly, I actually missed it. I had flew down to Florida for literally like 47 hours just to witness one of my good dear friends' weddings this past weekend. So the day I flew out, it started snowing, and then I came back and it just stopped snowing. So I just missed all the craziness. But we from the Midwest. Like, I don't need that. I've had enough. I don't get that excitement over snow no more. The rest of these people, they were skiing down the hills and fucking sledding down these. I was like, no. I just, y'all doing too much.
It's like I did that all my childhood. I'm good.
Okay. No,
but I kind of got jealous a little bit, like seeing like all the country with snow. I was like, I want snow. It's like I kind of want like this. I wanted like the 47-hour snow like you had. Like I want to be like, okay, it's cute. Let me like chill at the crib, got the fireplace going, and then the next day or the day after that is gone. We good to go. Especially down here in the South.
Yeah, you guys got a little. I saw your little picture. You got a little sneeze.
You know, they had just a tip. You know,
it wasn't even that. It was like anticipation. It wasn't even the tip. It's like, damn, you just teasing the hell out of me.
Not blowing on the booty hole.
Blowing on the booty hole, girl. Not the booty hole.
Not the booty hole. I need.
Give it to me, daddy.
Daddy.
I don't know why we don't do something like that. We just like come up with some merch that has all these crazy ass sayings that we be putting on shit. Like,
oh, it's coming. It's gonna come this
year. I would love a crop top that say, you know, blow on the booty hole or something like that. You know, a cute little crop top.
Girl, you know you don't. It'll be cute, but you know you ain't about to wear it. You know Fizz is not about to have you in that crop top.
And Fizz will be sitting there looking like this.
Right. Y'all better hold your breath. Hold your breath.
Look, and his crop top gonna say "my breath only." Okay, look, he gonna let it be known.
That part right there.
Nope, not gonna happen today. Blow on whose booty hole? Not
right.
his.
Not this.
What you not gonna do?
You better catch COVID.
Huh?
Can't breathe.
It's like, I wish you would come over there, that crop top. Oh Lord. But speaking of like crop top and shit like that, did y'all see Justin Timberlake apologize finally to Janet publicly? Kinda, because he wrote it in his notes and just posted it. He could at least on the video, but apologized to Janet and apologized to Britney after that Britney documentary came out. Mm-hmm. Were y'all feeling that apology?
No.
I'm not featuring it bit.
It's a little too little, too late. Yeah. Too little, too late for me. Bro, it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, he capitalized way too much off of it for that lame ass apology. Like, I'm gonna need to see something. You know, I'm gonna need to see him like, you know, in the studio with them. I'm gonna need to see him like trying to publicly do so. Well, we can't because we're in a pandemic. But you know what I mean, though. Like a goddamn picture from his notes ain't enough. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It literally just.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, baby.
Oh no, I was about to say like we have a friend and we won't say his name. Hey, boo, you know we talking about
mom.
You know.
Hey, mom. She know that name.
So do. And literally a few days before the apology came out, like, oh, it was Super Bowl, so everybody's always in like Janet Jackson Appreciation Day. And I was like, fuck JT. And I sent it to him. And actually another friend was like a group text, me, a friend and another friend. Hey, I ain't trying to call out people's names. But like we had a conversation even before the apology. Didn't even know the apology was coming. And I was like, you know what? He rubs me the wrong way. I like his music and things like that. I haven't canceled him completely. But it still rubs me the wrong way that here we are every year. It turns into Janet Jackson Appreciation Day, and you have still yet to apologize for this publicly. And so, like, had a whole little thread going about it, and then literally like 2 days later, he apologizes. So then we had a whole nother conversation about, okay, are you accepting it? And like, he was more on the side of just like, it doesn't matter what he says. People are going to either accept it or not accept it, which may be true. But mine was just like, okay, thank you for the apology. Like, I'm hoping it's genuine. But if you're in your apology going to say, this is only step 1, I better see step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it be a habitual new nature because you've had, 15 years to have done this. And so that's the only
on
part,
your
just
own,
like,
without the prompting of it being any other kind of issue.
Exactly. Especially in the other part is just like part of me that rubbed me the wrong way is like, again, it took a white female for you to apologize and then add in Janet. Like it couldn't just be a black female and enough for you to apologize to a black female for 15 years. You had to lump it into the Britney. So it's not even that she got her own separate apology, which is just like kind of rubbing me again. And honestly, yes, you need to apologize to Britney and all that stuff. And I get the times of the early 2000s is a different thing. People weren't as woke. I get it. But 15 years, 20 years later, like, dude. And you hear us talking about this for the last 20 years. It's not like we've just stopped talking about it. It comes up all the time.
Right.
Every single Super Bowl Sunday, it comes up. No matter who is performing, it comes up. Every single Super Bowl. So
that's the part
the
that
fact that
that
it's coming just now. Has anybody heard anything about progress? Speaking of apologies that I don't accept.
You know what? No, we said we were going to follow up, and I don't think we did. Let's see here.
Because that's what I want to know. Because my whole point back when that whole thing happened was exactly what's happening with what has happened with the Justin Timberlake situation. You have somebody that was caught, doing something they shouldn't have been doing. They got called out on it, and they're going to issue this apology and no other action. Oh yeah, we're showing our commitment to this and that and the other. And I want to see the receipts because I sure enough saw all them people posting them pictures for the last year up in progress. And I want to know where the receipts at. What have they done for the community? Black people that go up there spending your money up in there. And white allies that be spending your money in there, listening to rap music.
Ooh, we gonna make some.
I'm not gonna be. I ain't gonna be in your pocketbook like that. But I know one thing: I ain't gonna be up in there like that.
Not her.
I haven't gone since. I honestly haven't. So
I'll pay for Steamworks. I'll pay for Steamworks before I go up in there.
Steamies, I'll go to Steamies.
I mean, but that's I've never been there, but I would do that before I go back to Progress.
Like all that time in Chicago, you never went to Steamworks. And community, for those that don't know what Steamworks are, because we do have some allies and some straight folks that listen, it's a gay bathhouse. And it's
where
nice
you go to take baths.
Right, you go and take baths upon baths and get bathed and just use your imagination. Imagination.
I just go for the hot tub. That's all.
Oh, you going to the hot tub?
No, girl. Oh, no.
Not that hot tub.
Whole soup. No, man.
Like it smells like chlorine. They say if you smell chlorine, that means there's like pee and worms and everything. And it smells like chlorine in there.
It really do.
But that was a prior life. That was a prior life, darling.
Yeah.
Like Dawon says,
married.
I've lived. Right.
Or that.
I've never smoked. I've never done. Yeah. But I say the marijuana that episode or something.
The marijuana. She put an Auntie Chardonnay.
Yeah, say that the marijuana.
Oh Jesus.
Look, for everybody that's on YouTube watching us right now, we're just gonna be playing with our hair all day.
The entire time.
Just
better get into it.
Just get into it, darling.
The truth is, it keeps getting stuck to my beard, and it just drives me insane.
Yeah,
I'm like, ugh.
That's what we gonna blame it on.
You know what, community? You might as well, like, if you're watching this, or even if you're not watching this, if you're listening to the audio, pop you a wig on. If you're working from the crib, you might as well, pop you a wig, get into it, have some fun, sweat your life out. I'm already sweating.
I encourage every person, whether you gay, straight, or whatever, to have a wig, at least one.
Just
at least one.
I know.
There's something very freeing when you are when we had parties. And for those of you that are still having parties, because we know that's still happening.
We just reading everybody this episode.
Look, it's the hair.
I ain't gonna lie. I had an associate, someone that I know, through somebody I know. But gays over COVID show did post their Instagram story yesterday, and I was like,
"Oh, clutch the pearls."
Did you screen capture it?
I sure did. I was like, ooh.
What's that IG that?
And she a doctor too. I was like,
Oh, well, she said I'm vaccinated. That's what that was.
Oh no, she only has one.
Oh, never mind. I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt too. Huh?
And the killer part about it is, even when you're vaccinated, that doesn't mean that you can. It means two things. One, it means it doesn't prevent you. It doesn't prevent you from transmitting. So if you're a COVID carrier, then you will continue to be carrier, super spreading wherever you go. So that's number one. Number two, the vaccine doesn't prevent you from actually getting COVID. It just reduces, hopefully significantly, the symptoms of COVID, so that if you do come in contact, it isn't as severe or life-threatening. So don't get it twisted. This ain't PrEP.
They know better. They just don't care.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
You know, which like I get the underlying feeling that, because there's just certain things I don't care. I'm like, it is. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. Okay. But for me, this is just still so serious, especially which is like me having asthma, my husband having diabetes, and then like literally my niece. So like my dad just got his second shot. My dad and mom just got their second shot, and he's so excited because my niece has still been sick for the last 6-7 months, and she has like no immune system. So like it's serious out here, you know. It's like I get the feeling of not caring, but for some people there's a lot going on that if you were around my niece, if you're around us and we capture that, that's going to be your ass. Because there's other people that their bodies might not be able to handle it, you know. And so it's
some people out here really treating it like it's like not wearing a condom. I'm like, bitch, no, this just actually affects more than just you. You know, like other things where you're the only party that can be, you know, affected by it. Cool, do whatever the fuck you want to, but you literally can't control how this affects other people, and that's where it's just like, shame on you for being a shitty fucking person.
You don't know if you're a carrier. That's the scariest thing. Like, we all are walking around here trying to do our best, and there's no science that tells us, okay, here's a test for you to find out if you're a carrier. Because if you're a carrier and you're asymptomatic, you're just going around interacting with people that, you know, and just spreading the disease.
And I will say this though, it's hard to wear a double mask though, bitch. Because look, when I went to Florida, I wasn't playing with them hoes, okay? And I was literally the only person, bitch, okay? I wasn't playing it, and they were like, even at the wedding, I stood right up next to my friend with my double mask on, like, and
I know.
I told you was up from jump. I ain't here playing with it. And you know, I'm thick, you know, so that breathing's hard. But you know what? Look, I enjoy my life so much more. So if I got a huff and puff, girl, I'm gonna huff and puff
on a booty hole.
You sure did look cute though. I like your. You sure did look cute down there. Look all dressed up.
I was trying.
Said, let me see your stunner shades on. Got your stunner shades on. Let me see you show that grill.
We got picked up in convertibles, and I was like, "Oh shit, bitch! Okay, say less." Shades. I was like, "Boom."
It's fun. It's gonna be interesting though, because like I just got a text from like it's gonna be interesting the dynamic of those that have gotten vaccinated and things like that versus the ones that are still waiting throughout this entire year. Because I just got a text, and I'm about to call you out, boo. I won't say your name, but asking, oh, you guys want to go out this weekend? And my response just now live was, girl, not everybody got vaccinated yet. But he wanted to make sure everyone feels like included in things, which I appreciate. Thank you. So I'll take that. But it's just like, it's just going to be interesting all year. Even if you choose to or chose not to get vaccinated, or like you're still waiting to get vaccinated, that whole almost anxiety and that almost FOMO sometimes, because like, it's like we all been locked up and now y'all starting to trickle back out. It's going to be we thought 2020 was an interesting year. 2021 is going to be another interesting year because not everyone's going to be able. It's like, I want to play too. I want to play. So it's just like, damn.
Speaking of COVID, girl, so the NBA having the All-Star game in Atlanta, girl.
They just will not leave the city alone.
They really don't. They really not.
Like, they don't give a damn.
They're trying to make y'all look like Florida. They're trying to make y'all look like Florida.
They trying real hard.
It's payback for the election. They're trying to get you one way or another.
Stop.
Like, you gonna take this money.
You gonna take right. I know, like, even Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor here, had to put out a statement that she doesn't agree with it. And it's still just this dynamic between our governor in the state and her trying to protect her city. And I'm glad she's like putting these statements out. Like, it's rubbing some people the wrong way, but I'm like, no, she's looking out for us. And it's a lot of Black folk in the city, and it's affecting us more.
Look, I'm telling you, they trying to flip the script. They trying to get. They said, okay, I see. Y'all gonna turn.
In 2 years, there's gonna be less of us. Yep. In 2 years, there'll be less of y'all to keep it blue.
Right.
We
don't have any specific locations.
Like, it's ridiculous. And like, even like the NBA players are like, we don't want to go. They're like, what? Like, we're doing so much right now as it is with COVID testing multiple times a day, and we barely want to travel right now for this league. And then now you want to have an all-star weekend, like, which constitutes partying.
And you know what comes
partying and more partying.
Right.
Like, so it's just like, going what message are you sending out? So it's just like, come on. And like, if like literally it's the top stars of the league too, like the LeBrons, the James Hardens, the Kevin Durant's, the Steph Curry's of the league, saying, why the hell are we doing this? Like, why are we sending this message out here like this? They say, like, okay, yes, we're getting privileged to be able to play and make these millions right now. And then we'll have an all-star?
Not a single Black person on the face of this earth don't have somebody, some cousin, some friend, some family in Atlanta.
That part.
You know?
And you know it's gonna be extra turn. Like, it's already extra turn every weekend here. Like, I see so many stories, so many posts. I'm like, it's so infuriating.
My question is, because I haven't really been following the NBA this season, but why can't they just not go? Honestly.
I don't know.
There's nothing in their contract that tells them that they have to. They literally can decide and say, because of my health, that I'm not going to go. Just like for the Super Bowl, for instance, why a lot of the guys who are playing in the Super Bowl opt out of playing in the Pro Bowl because they don't want to risk being hurt for the Super Bowl. So why not can I take the same approach? But like, I don't want to risk being sick for the remainder of the season.
I wonder how many of them have had have been vaccinated, because I feel like that there's like an element of like personal safety, and then there's an element of social safety, right? So if you vaccinated and you're like, okay, well, I mean, it doesn't matter whether I go because I'm cool. I'm not going to be infected. Any of the other players are not going to be infected. Me, so blah blah blah. Right. But there's a ripple effect of everybody else that is coming that aren't necessarily being as safe. And that's where the issue is.
And so, like, I just looked it up real quick. It says, this was on February 4th, so things change daily. It says, though the league has mandated all-star game participation for players in the past, the current discussions are believed to include opt-out clauses similar to last season's Orlando bubble setup. So that was February 4th. I don't know if it's changed. I'm trying to find something real quick, but
I mean, honestly, it makes zero sense. And if they want to have the remainder of their season, they should not do it. Period. Like, I mean, we saw how it started in the NBA last year with homeboy at Utah joking about it, and then he'd be the first person fucking having it and got the whole and then got the whole fucking team and like testing positive. Like, come on now. We know that it really just takes one person. And if it's just one person at the All-Star, and like, AunTea Dawon was just giving us that education on it. You may have a vaccine or maybe asymptomatic, doesn't mean you still can't carry it.
That part. So
since we're talking about sports, and I know that by the
don't jinx it. No. And 2 weeks in a row, talk about sports for 2 hours?
Well, I mean, it's a brand new day. It's a new year,
It's a brand new day.
Just trying to level up.
Can you feel a brand new day?
No, I just want to take a moment just to like celebrate Serena Williams, because I know that she's going to be playing again, and I don't want to talk about that, but I just want to talk about her performance with Halep the other night. I am so just like bowled over with how impressive she has been playing these last couple of matches. How are you feeling?
Nervous. I'm still. I ain't gonna lie. I've been thinking about it all day, and I've literally been watching like Serena Williams old matches just to like keep myself from being like, bitch, she got Osaka. Like, if she get through Osaka, she winning it. That's period. She winning it. She winning it. But Osaka ain't no.
She has the most difficult, in my opinion, the most difficult like route to get into.
That half was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. And obviously, by the time you hear this episode, we'll know what happened.
We'll know.
So you're here.
I wish I was that so Raven. I wish I was that so Raven.
Right. Let's fast forward to the future.
Okay.
But you're hearing us nervous beforehand, and literally tonight, after we get done recording, is going to be the match. So hopefully, we're just gonna say it now. Congratulations, Serena, on 24.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna speak it into existence.
That's
what she needs. That's what she needs right now. We're gonna put that in the air. It's gonna get to Australia before she starts. You know.
I just wanted to take the moment to like just honor and recognize how amazing she's been playing. You know, how like you can tell that, you know, it's more about strategy and less about just forcing her way through.
Yeah.
She's had to, with the players that had to play, she's had to switch up her the way that her defense and the way that she does her offense. Like she had to switch up her serves a lot because they return very differently. The last two games, or the last two matches that she's played, you know, she's had some very heavy hitters.
I mean, Sabalenka, she can smack the ball, but I can't stand how she be yelling all the time. I'm like, oh, girl, it's not even like a grunt. It's like a I'm like, oh, who's murdering the pussy, girl? Damn.
Sorry for your eardrums on that part right there.
But she do. If you ever watch Sabalenka play, it's
like that. Yeah.
It's just always in your face, and it's like, oh, girl.
And she needs to find a second gear or something, because like if she finds a different gear, she's going to be stay a top player. Like she hits the shit out the ball, but
it's in her head. Her second gear is mental. It needs to be mental, because she has the power and she has the speed, but it's that mental aspect.
But she wants everything to be like a winner.
But until Serena gets 24, 25, and 26, I don't want none of these heifers to do anything. They better stay on gear number one. Don't shift. Don't downshift, bitch. Stay in park.
I don't even know who to root for. Like I'm still so ingrained with Serena and Venus that like when they retire, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get over this to start rooting for. It's not gonna be Naomi, but
it's instantly Naomi and Coco. Yeah. It's instantly gonna be Naomi and Coco.
You're right.
Like
you're right.
I'm gonna, you know, and
root for everybody black.
Everybody black, except for Sloan, because you know she needs to get her shit together.
She got an attitude.
She really do.
Just a little bit.
She really do, and not even the cute attitude.
No,
like girl, you ain't gonna do nothing. Oh wait, her career said that too.
Where
her career said that too, but you know,
stop. Because I want her to do, like, I like her game, but like I feel like she doesn't put the work in that she doesn't want to put the work in. You know, like I think early on it came too easy for her. Then she downhilled, and then she finally put the work in a little bit, and that's why she won that Grand Slam. Then again, after she won it, she thought it was going to be that easy for her again, and it's not. You got to work your ass off, especially now. The WTA is so deep now. Like everybody.
Yeah, these young girls are coming up. Like
so,
and I like the one girl too from Taiwan, Shui. I like her.
She's like 35. Like she about to be done.
She's not. But I just love how she's an older player, but she's still like
enjoying
out here enjoying it, and she's the number one in doubles too. At that, like
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like
like, go ahead, girl.
It's so unorthodox the way she hits her shots. Like,
Oh yeah, to
like
have
you
a
don't know where the
two-hand,
hell
front
it's gonna
hand, and
go.
backhand. Yeah,
It's bizarre.
yeah.
It's like I said the last time, the game within the last, I will call like the last 3 years has changed so much. Maybe 4 years has changed so much. Like the skill level at which these women are playing at now compared to 5 years ago, compared to 10 years ago, it's a whole different kind of ball game. You know,
I
so
agree.
when you
Mhm.
if just because you got to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and even to the finals in this year doesn't necessarily mean that next year is going to be a cakewalk.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
You might,
I like Serena took when Serena had her baby, she took that foot off their necks, and they're like, I can breathe, I can do this. Like Serena not being there literally gave so many of these girls confidence because
I agree.
prior to that,
And
it was
Banks.
still always Serena, always Serena, always Serena, and honestly, it still is. But
really
the
is.
confidence that these other players have now is due to the fact that she stepped away to have a baby,
Right.
and it allowed them to come into their own.
Yeah.
You
to have a
know.
career.
hmm
But
But I mean, it's crazy though. Like, and I think about this all the time when I'm watching tennis and they're talking about the stats. How like you think about women players who have like multiple like championships or grand slams playing right now. There ain't a bunch of them at all. Like there's so many of them
Right.
had like one, you
One.
know.
Yeah.
But like you got like Naomi who have
three.
three. Yep, she has three. She
Yeah.
has two US, right? And
And
yeah, two US and an Australian.
Australian
Yeah.
Open.
You know, and then you have
you have
Venus.
Halep who has Venus has 7. Halep
and then
has
you
2.
have I
Yeah,
think she
French
might
and
have
Wimbledon.
two.
Yep,
French
and
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
Okay. Yep. And then you have Serena. And then I guess you got like
Oh, and Azarenka has 2.
Azarenka and
Yeah.
Kvitova. I think she has a couple.
Oh yeah,
no.
she has a couple. Yep. And Kerber has a couple.
And Kerber has a couple. But even they
Other than that,
off.
that's about
other
it.
than that, no. So you look at this top 10 and so many of them don't have
Yeah.
a Grand Slam under their belt. Like as Bartley, I kind of felt bad for her. But
She
it was
has
nice
one.
to see.
Didn't she win last year? She won
No, Sophia
Bartlett?
Kinnan won that. Sophia Kinnan from the
won-
US won the
with
Australia. Mm-hmm. She
French
lost
was
to
that
the
Iga
semi.
girl lady.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
There
like
was no
Bartlett
Wimbledon,
won.
and then
Maybe
the
not.
US Open was Naomi.
Or did she win one in 2019? Maybe not. Maybe
No,
not.
I think
Anyway.
she's just doing a great job at winning
No,
these
she
other
has
WTA.
one.
Like
She
the
won.
tourneys.
She won. Sorry, Camille, I'm looking it up. It says she has one. Okay, come on, Wikipedia.
The source of truth.
Right. Yeah, she won the French Open in 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Woo, girl, that was a long time ago.
It
Yeah.
sure
And she's
was.
the number one.
Life
Anyways.
was completely different back then.
It sure was. But all right, we'll get to it. We I don't know what we talked about. We don't talk about sports for longer than that was a good sports
Yeah.
moment. That was a good sports moment. Come on now. I know
Nice
community,
job,
some of
bros.
y'all fans.
Good job,
Yeah,
bro.
bro. Good game, bro. Slap me
up,
on
bro?
the ass.
Sports. Yeah.
Or like Corey, my
Yeah.
husband, always like, he's like, sports. And he'll like drag the S off forever. But okay,
Shoot
what time
the
is
goal.
it? Right. Put it in the hole. What time is it?
Oh my god.
Ask
Your
aunties.
Yes.
This is a good Ask Your Aunties this week. And like everyone kind of does anonymous at this point because even if they don't need to, because this was not a bad one, it's an interesting one. It says, what's the best advice for a couple when you're together that's planning on moving in together within the next year? One works full time and the other will be going to school full time. And that was short and brief.
Yeah. I would say the first thing you need to talk about is financial responsibility. That would be the first thing. and making sure that you have a game plan of bills being covered, who's going to cover what, if it's 50-50, if it's 60-40, 70-30, or whatever the case is, make sure that that works first for you. Because the most important thing when you move on is making sure that your home is taken care of. Now, when it comes to everything else, I also talk about, space. Make sure that you have a game plan for making sure that you fill your own cup up too. It's very easy in that first year to get so wrapped up in your partner that you forget to start taking care of yourself, and then you find yourself like getting irritated about the littlest things, and you be like, who the hell are you? How come I didn't know this? And you're like, yeah, bitch, I knew it. I just have my own space to go back to vent to. So that's how I'll deal with it. Well, guess what, bitch? You can't run to your crib anymore. You gotta go to the kitchen, to the living room, or the bathroom, take your ass for a walk or something, So I would just say, figure out that, together as a couple, and just enjoy it, like just don't put too much planning into it, because you will overcomplicate it and you'll miss out on so much. So
yeah, I'll piggyback on what you said, because my mind immediately went to the finance part of it, because you have to realize that these kind of decisions, like moving in, and job changes, which this will be a job change. You're going to school, you're leaving your job to go to school full time. In so many words, are two of the five most stressful things, the biggest stresses that one will experience in life. And depending upon how you handle stress and how you express yourself when you are stressed, that can add undue stress onto your relationship. And so, I would just say, just from a personal perspective, if you guys are deciding to move in together, I would hope that you're moving in, to a place that you feel very comfortable that on one income, you would not be stressed out about. Yep, and smart. I think the other, and if you're planning on upgrading as a part of your moving in, but then you're downgrading your finances, that's a recipe for disaster. You will be getting evicted. Just saying, like, you don't need you don't need that. Look, you don't need that when you're trying to go through midterm. So just be cognizant about your financial situation, because you're already going to be engaging in so many other things that are going to pull you in different directions. You're going to be living with somebody that you've never lived with before. And just because you can be dating somebody for 2 years, but if you don't live with them, you don't know the ins and the outs. How dank do they tear up the bathroom when they go into it? Like, do they have, like, are they clean when you're not around? What are there are all kinds of quirks that you never really thought would bother you, because you're in the honeymoon phase of the relationship, because you have kind of this ideal of what it's supposed to look like. But when you're in close quarters, and guess what? We still in a pandemic. So, at the end of the day, it's not like, you could just go out and hang out with a bunch of your friends. Well, I know some people do, even if there's a pandemic going on. But you just have to be cognizant of those kind of dynamics before you make those decisions. I think moving in with a partner, if your relationship is solid and you're feeling that's the next step in your relationship, I think that's a beautiful thing. But you have to be realistic. And the last thing that I'll say, going back to the finances thing, I personally have always been of the mindset that you split the bills based on your income. And if you're not holding down any income, then you two have to come up with some kind of an arrangement around what that's going to look like while you are in school. So does that mean that you're going to be taking a part-time job while you're in school full-time? Are you going to be, just going to school and studying, and then while school is out, you're going to be picking? Like, you need to have those kind of conversations so that there's no surprises. Because guess what, boo? You probably got bills, whether you have a job or not, that have nothing to do with your new boo, or not your new boo, but your move-in boo. So how is that going to be handled? If you've got, student loan payments, car payments, insurance, credit cards, you
got to eat,
whatever, right? Benihana, credit, whatever. Like, you have to come up with a game plan on how that stuff is going to be taken care of. And then make sure that you both are aligned, because the last thing that you want to have happen is while you're in the midst of school and you're struggling, you're starting to have an argument and creating resentment for you and your situation because you guys didn't talk it out.
Yeah, I agree. I think the financial, as in any situation, but specifically this one, will be a big one just because if one's working, and I think that's almost maybe why you put that sentence in the question, because it's like one works full time and one's going to school full time. So there's that dynamic. Also, for the person that's going to school, well, even just for both sides, like I hope the person that's working supports the school part, because yes, you're working full time. That's a lot of hours. But a lot of times with school, if you're going to full time, there's like you're going to school and then you're studying, then you got study groups. And I hope they don't be like, well, you're not spending time with me now. That's why we want to move in together and things like that. I hope that person supports the fruition of school, because school is a whole damn thing, you know? So, and then on the flip side, I hope the person that is going to school has the ability to prioritize and try to shave off time potentially for your relationship if it's important for you to move in together. So it's just like that's going to be a whole nother dynamic that you're just going to have to think fully through, that I hope you thought fully through, because time slips away. Like Corey and I both work full time and like got the podcast and stuff, and he's doing his thing on the content, and it's just like we've been together damn near 9 years, and that's still something that we still try to work on. It's just like, damn, you worked all day, you got here late, and you're still upstairs working, and this, so it's still there, even though we've talked it out and been together forever. So y'all already hit the financial part. That's going to be huge, but almost this time portion of it and each supporting each other in their job and in school is going to be a whole conversation I think you're going to need to have, because there's going to be days where you're stressed with schoolwork. There's going to be days he comes home from work and he's stressed from what happened at work. And then you want to vent to your boo, but then he's stressed about calculus, or whatever. So it's just like, I hope you have that conversation, because that's going to be the real part. And obviously there's going to be like, they left the dishes in the sink while you're studying. Like there's going to be little bullshit shit that come up that's real in the moment.
And that's with any relationship.
Exactly. It's real in the moment. But you think that you're like, damn, did it have to go there? It didn't need to be that deep. But in the moment, that shit
it was everything. The fuck off. Okay.
One sock out of the place and out of the hamper, just off the
set you
end.
The fuck off.
Yeah,
that's happened there a week.
Right. I will say one thing that I would encourage, although like reflecting on what you bring to the relationship is great, but also thinking how like how it's going to affect you too. Like it's great to know like, okay, well, yeah, like this is how much I make. I'll be able to do this for me, but also think about what you're going to be able to do to the relationship, because it's going to be a completely different dynamic, and you can't go into it thinking it's going to be exactly how it was as you being two individuals living completely different. So your mental space, like how you view your relationship as a whole, is going to have to change, because although you want to make sure that, you can take care and handle everything yourself, your relationship is now involved, where now your mindset now has to start thinking about the other person that lives with you. Like your mindset has to be there, So whether you're the student or the person working the full-time job, you have to ask yourself, okay, what can I still do for my partner, even though I'm working full-time or I'm going to school full-time? Because if you're not, that means you're not caring about your partner, you're focused on yourself. And it's like, well, what's the point then? You could just live by yourself.
Yeah. And hopefully you find, like, if you can afford it, like, especially when I was in an apartment, get a second room if you can. If you can afford it, I get it. If you can't, like, don't stretch your means, especially when you're in school, but try to find a space for you to have, okay, this is where I'm going to be able to do my schoolwork. This is where I'm going to be able, if I need to work from home during a pandemic, where I could do. Easier said than done. I get it. Completely understand it. But even if you're in a 1-bedroom or a loft or whatever, trying to set those boundaries, saying, okay, this is my space that I could concentrate, put my AirPods in, or if you're in an apartment building and they have a space you could rent out or something, you could just go and sign your name and be able to do your work there. trying to set those boundaries, because they're like, thank God during this pandemic, living in the house we're in compared to like, say, when I lived in Chicago in like a 650 square foot apartment.
Right.
We're able to have our space, and it's okay to say, I need some space. I just need some time for myself, whether that's a bubble bath or whatever. Carve that out, especially in your, like, if it's a newer relationship, because it's okay to say, I just need a moment to chill for myself.
That's a very real thing. And I would, if I were in that situation, I would prefer to downgrade my amenities to have the extra space. Like, to have, if you live in a 1-bedroom, you both live in a 1-bedroom, and you're looking at like a 2-bedroom that's like, you know, got all the bells and whistles, probably not it. I would look for a 2-bedroom that doesn't have as much, that gives you a little bit more flexibility, because I would look at this as an investment. You both are making an investment in the relationship in more ways than one. And in order for this investment to be as fruitful as it can be, try to mitigate a lot of those stresses. And in this COVID life, where you just can't go to the Starbucks or go to the, you know, to whatever your, you know, your coffee shop is that you would typically go to kind of like sit your laptop down and be there all day, and you have a space outside of your apartment, you don't have that luxury now. So, you know, you have to think about, what do I need in my place or my apartment or my home, you know, that gives me the ability to have a separate place so that I can do my thing. Because listen, when you're wanting to study, he's going to be wanting to, you know,
watch TV,
listen to music, you know, do his nails and talk to his friends and do whatever, you know, and that's all noise that's going to be happening. If you're sitting up there on the sofa trying to study with your, you know, your earphones on, that only does so much. So you just need to really be thinking about that.
Oh, and one other thing to say too is, expect all the planning that you decide to do to go out the window and then not to work.
That part.
Because let me tell you, you could have the plan like, oh, we're gonna pay like this, we're gonna eat like this, we're gonna live like this, and then life hits, girl. You catch the wrong attitude, or we go through a pandemic, or you just get sick and tired of seeing the same damn draws on the same damn person. You know, like something, like, expect something to happen just to be like a monkey wrench and just throw everything out, you know. So just be flexible. Also be as much as you plan, just be flexible and just plan for there's gonna be moments where you ain't gonna be happy. And that is okay, because that's a relationship.
Be flexible in
and
Cinderella. Out of the bedroom.
It ain't like the Black Cinderella on Disney Plus now. You know, shit, it don't just happen like that, bitch. For a plain crunchy pumpkin to become a golden carrot.
You may also want to pay and trade too, you know. So you know, it don't hurt to like throw a little booty his way, or you know, whatever you got. You know,
blow on the booty hole.
Booty hole. Okay.
I think that's just the message of this whole episode. Let's go blow on the booty hole.
Yes.
Oh man, but yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. Continue to send your Ask Your Aunties questions to aya@minorityReport.com or DM us at Minority Report on Instagram. I don't know why I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable on that, but Instagram, MT Report on Twitter, TikTok, Minority Report, wherever. Just send us some new ones. It's 2021. I'm sure you have some new stuff, and I'm sure this is within the COVID life. So thank you for this question. But man, yeah, relationships are something.
Woo, they are. How did it become the thing that everybody wanted? Why are we hardwired to want
companionship?
To be in these? Yeah, like
I blame Disney putting these damn dreams in our.
I'm with you.
Like everybody wants to be Ariel. Everybody
the more you know.
Right. That's true.
That's the story I wanted.
Prince Charming.
Oh, man. Girl, bye.
Does not exist.
You mean Mr. Irk my nerves?
Right.
Right. But I got a story to tell y'all, or a situation that happened that it takes a lot for me to like be in a moment and not know how to get out of it. So the other day I was doing
Was
my
she tied up? Well,
tied up. And I was doing my one-on-one with my manager, and I literally I found during the pandemic, some mornings I'll either wake up later than I planned and just go to work, like go to my room,
right,
not shower, nothing, hair looking crazy. It is what it is. So it was one of those days. Right. And so I was like, oh crap, I have my one-on-one. Okay, I'm about to, and like we do the Zoom, so we're looking at each other. So I was like, okay, let me grab a hat real quick. So I just grabbed my nasty pig hat. And a lot of times, like straight people do not know what it is. Some gay people don't know what it is.
Clue.
Even though it's like the Lululemon of gay now. But so I had the hat on. We're doing our one-on-one, blah, 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 blah. And it gets to the end. And she's like, what is your hat? And she was like, what's the logo? She's like, is that a pig? I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? I have no clue. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, is that like a sports team? I was like, no, it's a gay clothing line. And she's like, there's gay clothing lines? And I was like, yeah. And so then I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to explain all of this now? Like, cause she kept asking questions. She was like, so what makes it a gay clothing line versus like a regular clothing line? She's like, are the owners gay? I was like, yeah, the specific brand that they're gay. She's like, what makes it gay then? I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was like, seriously, I was like, do I like part of my brain was like, do I just go in and just let this lady know, or do I tiptoe? Because this is work, you know? So like I'm tiptoeing. Right. I'm like, yeah, the owners are gay. And I was like, there's certain clothing that might be maybe a little different form fitting, or maybe you might have the flamboyant, or you might have this stereotypical what they want as almost this quote unquote masculinity. So I'm going into all that and trying to give her the spectrum and things like that. She continues to keep asking questions. And I'm like, oh my God. She's like, what's the name of the brand? And I was like, oh my God, I cannot say nasty fucking pig. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, clearly I know what the brand is because I got the fucking brand on my head. And she's asking, so I'm like, well, pig. Oh no, she's like, oh, is the brand called like pig or something like that? I was like, oh my God. And then she noticed like in the emblem that it like the snout is an NP. And so she's like, what does the N stand for? And I'm like,
oh my God.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, oh, I can't remember the name of it. No, I'm not going to even say her name. I'm not because I don't even know if she happens to find out about the podcast. But so I'm like, oh, I can't remember what the N stands for. But like, you know, it's a clothing line, and a lot of folks in the gay community support like a lot of clothing lines that's geared towards the community. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, well, that's interesting because like it's kind of reminds me of this time when my son was small. And I went to the store. And she's like, she goes, do you know the brand FUBU? And I'm like, bitch, yes, I know the brand FUBU. I was like, it's for us by us. Of course I know the brand FUBU. And so she was like, yeah, because I went into the store and I just found this jacket for my kid because I thought it was cute and it was FUBU. And so she's like, so I bought it and everything. And then I was like, you got looks, didn't you? She's like, yes. And I was like, of course you did. I was like, do you know what FUBU stands for? She's like, I do now. She's like, I educated myself, but she's like, it's just interesting that like you're talking about gay clothing lines. She's like, there was obviously clothing lines geared towards like the African American community. I was like, yeah, it's the Black community. You can call us Black girl. It's okay. And I was like, yeah. I was like, how old is your kid? And I think her kid was like 16. I was like, makes sense. Cause I was like, when I used to work at the Buckle back in the day, that was one of the clothing lines that was just massive. And I was like, yeah, a lot of, especially where I grew up, like Saginaw, like people, it was predominantly Black coming in buying specifically FUBU, even though the Buckle was probably more geared to white people. The Black people would always come in and get the FUBU section, or like the ones that like were at least white people that were embraced in the culture because they were down. Exactly. And so we start talking about FUBU and everything. And then finally she's like, well, you know, I'm glad you like educated me on this stuff. She's like, I like the hat. And I was like, thank you. So I was able to tiptoe out without having to tell her the brand was fucking Nasty Pig.
I bet that, you know what? I hope they look. I hope the real gag is that on her birthday that her manager sends her a Nasty Pig gift card.
Please do.
Look,
please do.
That would be the real gag.
Oh my God.
I was sitting there like, oh my God. And like it was like the blue hat. So it was like the blue hat where it was kind of almost even harder to see the emblem. So I'm like, how the hell are you seeing all this shit? And like that you notice that it said NP. I was like, not everyone even in the gay culture knows that the snout is an NP. So I was like, you very observant.
You know what that means? You better make sure that your room be clean because you know she be looking at your couches, she be looking at your wall.
You know, normally I have the mannequin head with the wig.
Yeah,
I've had to move that now on Zoom because I'm like, I don't want any fucking I don't feel like explaining all this shit on Zoom. So literally, if I have a Zoom, which is like every day, I move the mannequin head. So that's why it's actually not back there right now because I moved it to right here because I'm like, oh, because you can see all in the background, especially during the day, the sun's right here and it's shining. So you see everything back there. I'm like, oh my God. But she's like, what? Can we do this? So because Dawon got me thinking because I want to know her name too. So no.
So what I would like to know, let's make this a guess episode. That's what I wanted. I was gonna say, can we get a guess episode till we figure it out? You know, and you don't gotta say yes. You don't have to say yes to no. You know, and it'll be like a YouTube answer only. You know, you'd be like, blink twice or something like that, or you know, or something. You know, there has to be like a little something that we'll know if we got it right.
So here's what we'll do. It's a long ass year. I was thinking maybe we reveal the name at the end of the year, and we'll have however many episodes to the end of the year, 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
Each episode, you just name a name, and at the end, I'll reveal the name, and hopefully you get it by that time.
Oh, so, can we do it like the game Guess Who? Can we be like, does she have blonde hair? You know, like to help get in the character, because you know it'll help. You know, characteristics will help with the name because you know some people live by their names.
50 episodes, I'm gonna like describe where she fucking lives by that point. Get her address.
Exactly.
It's like
no, and guess
in this house.
No, and Guess Who? It's more about like you know, does she like to wear plaid often? You know, because only like a Stacy will wear polka dots, you know, or like a Jill will wear polka dots, you know.
I didn't know there were stereotypes for.
Oh yes, oh yeah, oh yes.
But okay, so what's your guess for this episode?
Okay,
and I'm not gonna say one way or the other.
Okay,
and I gotta write this down. So
you gotta keep track of it. Okay, so you, and she's in Georgia as well too, right?
No. So that's my question for this episode.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna go with Aaron.
Okay. Dawon.
I'm gonna say Margaret.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be fun for the end of the year to look back and be like in episode 1. So this is episode 106, by the way, community.
Yes.
So it's gonna be like in episode 127. Ding 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 ding.
Yes.
Oh, this is fun. Good idea. Oh, me and my Nancy Pig adventures. So now I like literally that's like the only hats I really wear a lot now. Like I have a couple others, but those I like because it's the flex fit, especially with longer hair. It just fits my head well. And then obviously I like Nasty Pig. But oh my God. Like it takes a lot for me to get embarrassed anymore. And I was sitting there like, oh my God, I don't know how to get don't stop asking questions.
That's the thing of it is that in and of itself, it's not like the HR person is like starting to like come through. Like in and of itself, it's not like a bad thing, but it's all like in the delivery, and it all depends on what they end up doing afterwards.
Right.
because that's because the hat in and of itself is not inappropriate.
Right.
But some of the other clothing that they have, right.
I know. Like, and that's the thing. I was like, God, some of this stuff they have. And I was hoping, the reason I really didn't want to give her the name, obviously the name is crazy, but I didn't want her to go to nancypig.com and start looking at the shit.
And then you've got that, first of all, you got that stuck in your head. Like, this
God.
chick is like really.
Because I mean, they got like pigs humping each other on their shirts, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot.
Look, and then she'd be curious about your PTO. She'd be like, oh, so are you gonna wear your hat on your PTO? Like, as a nasty pig weekend, you know?
It's an IML.
Right.
How you know IML?
I've been listening since episode number 32.
Right.
Okay.
Oh my god. But then it was just funny how she like turned it to FUBU then too, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to have a whole Black History Month moment now.
Oh Lord.
But God, it was a lot.
That's wild.
But speaking of Black History Month, it's the last week of the month for us, so we do want to make sure we highlight our queer person of the week. And this week it is Miss Major Griffin-Gracy. She is a Black transgender elder and activist who has been fighting for the rights of trans women of color and marginalized communities for over 40 years. Born and raised on the south side of Chicago, trans activists came to know herself in the 1950s and 60s when the police raids of queer bars were rampant and the thought of LGBTQ plus people speaking out against oppression was novel. She, alongside other vanguard activists like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, emerged from the perilous 1969 Stonewall riots with a commitment to support her sisters and other trans families. She is also a survivor of the Dannemora prison and Bellevue Hospital Queen Tank. And I have heard of Bellevue Hospital because I think that's a hospital in New York that they did
mental, and they have they used to do like experiments in the basement and electric shock treatments.
Ooh. So Miss Major
for being gay.
For being
electric
gay.
shock treatments for being gay.
That's crazy. Miss Major is community leader, human rights activist, and formerly the longtime executive director of the San Francisco-based Transgender Gender Variant Intersex Justice Project, which advocates for trans women of color in and outside of prison. She is simply mama to many in her community. She'll be 81 years old in October and had a documentary film about her life titled Miss Major in 2016. And she also And upcoming creative projects include executive producing the film Trans in Trumpland, which comes out on February 25th. So this week on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and Topic. I haven't heard of that streaming platform. And she also has a book on her life's activism written with her longtime assistant, Toshio Moranek, which is out later this year as well. So thank you, Miss Major Griffin-Gracy, your mama. Yeah. That's awesome.
And not y'all, but not you aunties, but some of y'all want to be hung up on the name Boys Town. Suck on that bitch.
Ooh. Like, okay. Okay, don't threaten me with a good time. But yeah, let's 81 years old this year. Like,
that's amazing.
You don't hear a lot specifically people of color and like Black community, trans women, trans men, queer, gay, lesbian, really out here telling their stories like this. Honestly, I can't think of anyone older than 81 or that age that comes straight to mind. So it's great. We got to look these stories up. We got to know these people. I'm about to watch the documentary as well. And then this Trans in Trumpland that comes out on the 25th. Gonna watch that as well because it's good to know your history. It's good to know where they come from, the craziness that they've been through. Like, we think we go through some shit today. The shit they've been through and seen is wild.
Trans
so we
people have been in the back of the bus. They've been in the back of the bus of the LGBTQ plus community for the longest time, and they've been at the forefront of the fight every single time.
So that's our Black History moment this week, our highlight. Thank you, Miss Griffin-Gracy. And and we're gonna, I mean, obviously we celebrate Blackness all year round. I mean, like, you see what we wear pretty much every episode. There's gonna be someone with a t-shirt or sweatshirt on repping Blackness, or people of color or trans community, LGBT plus, et cetera, et cetera. So Black History 365 for us, but we'll continue to look at people of color throughout the year as well. So there we go. Get this hair out my face. Yes.
my little mini fan and turned off, and I'm like, whoop.
I'm
like the shit that hit me. I'm like, oh, it's hot. It's hot.
It's too hot.
Lord Jesus.
I don't know how girls do it.
I don't either.
All that hair, it's just like, I just don't understand it. I mean, it's cute, but
it's cute for like the 2 hours we on here, but after that,
But
and then this one like pulls my hair because it's got like the little combs everywhere.
Oh, the little clip. Yeah.
Ooh, so every time I take these off, I pull out like half my head of hair. But another thing before we even get out of here too, did you see that? And I have it written down here. The director of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, his name is George C. Wolfe, is teaming up with Dustin Lance Black to do a film for Netflix about Rustin. So the queer Bayard man Rustin? That was Bayard. I said Dustin. Dear God, Bayard Rustin. Getting all tongue tied. Bayard Rustin.
So good. I got you, boo.
Thank you, boo. Which is gonna be crazy because I'm like, okay, the director of Maz, that's awesome, and then I'm getting all these. Dustin Lance Black was the one that won the Academy Award for Milk. That film, and I read his autobiography last year. That was a good book. So his pen game is strong. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited. So we'll see how that comes out.
That'll be great to hear. That'll be great to hear and see a movie that's told about literally an unsung hero of the Black gay community. You know, the guy that literally wrote the speech for "I Have a Dream." You know, and was Martin Luther King's right-hand man until he was deemed to be too controversial to to certain communities of the Black community, to really stand beside him, as a champion for civil rights, when he was the one that was really driving a lot of the actions for the passive resistance movement. Am I saying that right?
Don't ask me.
We got to do better.
Malcolm X was militant, and then
right.
And Martin Luther was about passive. I'm just losing the word. It's been a long day, girl. And plus, I'm still thinking about Serena.
I know we're about to rush that. My brain is on Serena. I know this might be a quick episode, community, because we like, looking at the clock. But even before we forget, next week though, this week, I know it sure is. But make sure next week that you catch our episode. I'm gonna put that out there right now. We got a nice guest coming on that we're excited about too. So don't
I do have something to talk to y'all about.
Mm-hmm.
How do y'all feel about Tamron Hall having what's her face, Sherry Pie on the other day?
I know.
I didn't hear about this. What is the tea?
And I kind of wanted to save that topic because of who we got, but we'll talk about it. It's one of those things, and everyone's like, "Oh, Kerel, you're so great." I understand both sides of it, because if you're a person like a Tamron Hall or an Oprah and things like that, that's your job, is to interview everyone. And they've interviewed
and
Charles
ask those
Manson
tough questions
and ask those questions. And yes, it might be giving a spotlight or a platform to whomever they are interviewing, but these are the questions that need to be asked. But then on the flip side, this person has done some heinous, crazy shit to people. And so I think my thought,
you want to remind the community of what Sherry Pie did.
So Sherry Pie was a drag queen that was on season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and before she even got on the show, was like pretending she was some kind of like producer or something of like film and plays, and was making the people audition, like taking off their clothes and pretending she was a casting director and making them do these sexual lewd acts and things like that, and saving the videos for herself. And
she was paying them to take steroids because she sexually fetishized large like muscular men. So she would have these men and she would send them, saying that they were from the studio, send them steroids, pay for them to go get, to go have, like workouts and whatnot. She would it was more than just like, oh, I'm sending an email and, you do what you do. She was like literally instructing them on everything that she wanted.
Shit. And the weird thing is, like, she was calling them friends and and things like that. We were just like, how are you doing this to your friends? But anyway, so I think we talked about this last year. I was trying to look up which episode for you. But so we talked about that episode last year when it was kind of going down. So we really haven't heard anything in a year from her. So then it comes out this week that Tamron Hall's like, coming on this week is Sherry Pie. And it created this uproar within the LGBTQ plus community, honestly, because they were sticking up for the folks the victims of Sherry Pie. And so they were saying, and a lot of their statements were just saying, you're giving him a platform to potentially rebuild his career, because we know how the entertainment industry is. It's all about getting knocked down and then somehow rebuilt up, no matter how crazy the situation is. And the voices of the victims haven't really been heard to tell their story. So that's the only part that I'm like, okay, hopefully there's an avenue, if they want it to be, if they want to vocalize their situation, if they want to come out and things like that, because a lot of them haven't really been too vocal about it, and rightfully so. Like, it screws up your mental. But if they do want to speak out, hopefully Tamron gives them a platform as well to show the other side potentially, or even if it's not them, to have an episode about sexual assault, sexual harassment, and things like that, to just at least give both sides of it. But
yeah, and that was the other thing too, is one of the victims came out and publicly said, and this is how the community, especially like the Rue community, got involved. And that was the part of the community that really started, you know, speaking out and being vocal. One of the victims said that they were sending Tamron Hall and the producers emails and letters saying, we don't want the story out there. We are not comfortable with this being a focal conversation for the show. And we rather not you all air something about our trauma that we have not processed yet. And instead of respecting their wishes, they still went on to have Sherry Pie on the episode. And for her to, at the beginning of the episode, talk about how she's been a journalist for 30 years and, you know, she's, you know, interview like rapists and murderers and all this other stuff, and how, you know, she would interview the guy that, you know, killed her sister and stuff like that. Like, it was like she was like listing these creds as a reporter of why it's okay for her to do what she did, you know, and it was just really dismissive, really, really dismissive.
Yeah. And the episode, by the way, is episode 57, Stirring the Honey Pot, Ask Your Aunties Mind Your Business, and 90s Male R&B Brackets. So to kind of hear like our original thoughts on the situation last year, came out in March of last year. You could check that episode out. But what do you think of Dawon? I know you haven't heard much of it yet, but just initial reaction.
I'm conflicted a little bit. I totally appreciate the victim side of it. You know, and then I also understand the journalistic intent behind having a conversation with somebody that, you know, that does something like this. I haven't seen the interview, so I don't know like how they've contextualized it, you know. So if this was the whole focus of the conversation, if there were other, you know, people that were brought in to balance the conversation out, if there were like trauma experts that talked about, the patterns of abuse and the psychological unsafety that is created when you have somebody that, you know, is wielding certain kind of power over another person. So I'm really conflicted. I'm conflicted by it. I don't think that there is a way for, I'm talking myself out of it. I think there is a way for Sherry Pie to come out of this. I don't want to say unscathed, but, you know, I think, you know, certainly as a perpetrator of such heinous crimes, and then being an advocate for change in this particular era, I can see that happening. But you know, the idea that Sherry Pie would regain like her career, if you will. Ain't nobody booking her. Don't nobody want to be seen with her. No, like.
I don't know. You know, some of these bookers, especially in the white community,
maybe
that's
progress.
the part.
And that was the thing too.
Progress.
Oh, maybe progress. But you know, like the truth of the fact is not Tamron that would be the one solely reviving this person's career.
Right.
It has to be literally the community and people wanting to put this person back in the spotlight, you know.
Right.
So the idea of thinking that this sole reporter, Tamron Hall, is going to be the door back to stardom is not even realistic at all whatsoever, you know.
But can
you know,
we talk about that?
Okay, love.
Can we talk about just the optics that's placed on when Black women do this, because they receive so much scrutiny when you have other people like the Chris Wallaces of the world and and whomever else that's Katie Couric of the world,
even the Barbara Walters, exactly.
You don't see the same degree of scrutiny of their journalistic integrity, when they're bringing on Charlie Manson and like Jeffrey Dahmer, and I probably didn't bring on Jeffrey Dahmer, but I'm just saying,
Allen and things like
right. Like you don't see the same. So like, I'm conflicted more about like the inequity that is the inequitable scrutiny that's placed on Black professionals when they're doing the exact same thing and using their journalistic integrity to bring stories that are of interest, that could be educational, that are enlightening or whatever, or it could be gaslighting for all I know, but they don't face the same kind of white counterparts don't face the same kind of scrutiny. So
but
it's Black History Month, so I'm rooting for everybody Black.
I do have one question though, but like, what is there to ask Sherry Pie? Like it's not that there aren't facts or there isn't proof or anything. Like we know that it's true, So at this point, what is there to ask besides why? And guess what? It doesn't matter whatever answer she fucking gives. So I'm just, to be honest, I just never understood. I don't understand why. Like why, when someone's doing something wrong, why dive deep into it? Like I want to see the consequences before I want to see the story. That's me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go watch it right after this because I want to see what she got to say.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just like, what's the answer for any kind of interview like that? Like, why are we interested in whomever interviewing a Charles Manson? Why are we interested in whomever interviewing a Woody Allen? Why,
I think that's why I don't watch him. I think that's literally why I don't watch them.
I think there's always some, unfortunately, intrigue of trying to hear why are you that fucked up, in essence, Yeah. And that's on everybody. This is not the first time
this was happening, and
yeah.
The way they treat us in this country, I've never given two fucks about about a white person they interview. No, not two motherfuckers. We can't even go to the damn barbecue, walk down the street, go to Starbucks, or any of this other shit without being in the goddamn news. So you out here sexually assaulting people, bitch. You got all the privilege in the world. That's the last thing you should have been fucking doing. Like you.
Well, it shows you the privilege. So they thought they'd be able to get away with it. Honestly, it's the mentality of the white privilege culture that literally since the beginning of time. Honestly, it's before even the U.S. is the England and the conquerors of them. They've never had the accountability. So like, even though you are part of a minority being gay, you still have that white culture part of it where you think you could get away with a lot of this shit. And honestly, she did almost. It literally took her. I think if she did not get cast on Drag Race,
I would have to move. I would have to move out of the country. Like, if I was Sherry Pie, I would have to move out of the country. I'd be like, because what is left? What is left? Everybody know your damn name. Everybody know your alias. Everybody know your drag persona. So you can't put any of that shit on and make a living. Like, why even stay here? Why not move to like fucking, Germany or somewhere where, they don't speak the language and, you can start a whole new life. Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. I see this.
I don't know.
I don't even know why I brought it up. I literally said I don't care, and I was the one who brought up the damn topic. Like, I don't care. Who is she? And I'm asking y'all. who am I? I didn't put this wig on and I didn't start caring about shit like that.
Right. But yeah, it's interesting. And again, it's one of those things, I see both sides of it, and I don't know what the right answer is, because then at the end of the day, the only interviews are going to be pop culture and like foo-foo stuff, and you might not get to the root of some things too. I don't know. So I hope she at least has some kind of episode where it's talking about the victim's point of view and their side, even if they don't want to share their specific story. Having some generalized story on, and having like a therapist come on or a specialist come on could kind of hopefully maybe balance it a little bit. I don't know, but it's heavy.
That's a no
crazy.
for me, dog.
It's a no for me, dog. Are you watching American Idol? I've seen those commercials.
I've seen like a couple like little YouTube little clips of people.
I like Katy Perry with the long blonde hair, by the way. I like the wig she's wearing.
I will say this. I like the three as judges. I think the three of them as a panel, I think they're real cool. Like you got Uncle Lionel up there who'll be like, oh, let me tell you something. You, my friend, you got it. You know, like just that old school uncle. Yeah. I mean, I've literally just watched a little bit here and there. Like even the last season, I just watched a couple, but it's like your typical fucking contest show in the US. Like all the good people are people of color, and they always are the first people to go. No. And it's like, all right, once they're gone, I'm gone. Like
you lost the best people to go.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm out. Deuces. Cool.
Oh man.
You know.
Yeah, I haven't watched this panel at all. Like I see little highlights pop up on social media, and so I might watch a clip here and there, but to sit down and watch, and honestly, to sit down and watch any kind of TV, I really just don't do anymore. Like if it's not YouTube, I really don't watch. Like I don't really watch too much TV. So
speaking of singing, since Valentine's Day was last week, two things? Did you guys do anything special for Valentine's Day, Corona wise? And then number two is, what did you think about the Mariah Carey remix?
Oh, she just dropped the 7-minute video or 7-minute version on streaming right before we hopped on tonight. Like, cause she did like the 3.5 minute version, right? But she sounded incredible.
We belong together.
She did a couple of different little riffs. She's like, I'm not gonna let Jasmine get all the smoke to get all the time. I'm gonna show them I can riff and run a little bit still. I think COVID's done her well, honestly. She's not singing as much, so it sounded like her voice was a little rested. It's still not like 96 Mariah, but it's
neither was she.
Right. You're right. But it sounded good, so I'm excited to listen to the longer version and see what that.
I haven't heard it, honestly, y'all. It's been really hard for me to get back on the Mariah Carey train.
Really,
it's been really hard.
Why?
Just because I can't shake old school Mariah. You know, like. And I don't
shake it off.
And honestly, and going back to that album, that's like the last album that I really like gave Mariah like a full.
Well, you didn't listen to Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel? That's a dope
album. Here's the thing.
Amazing.
I listened to, but again, like, here's the thing. With Mariah getting older, and Kerel, and you listen to a lot of music too. You can tell when a track is more of a natural person singing and how much is, padded by what you can do with the studio, and I am very much that person. I can't support someone who can't sound like the albums. It's hard for me to do that. And she can't. The music that she released is not OG Mariah. It's not all her, there's some pack going on up in there, and I just can't do it. I can't do it.
I could separate it because, and ever since I could always separate it, because I remember one time I saw Erykah Badu live in Chicago, Taste of Chicago. Every year they would bring like free concerts, so it was dope. And she said something on stage that I was like, that's the perfect explanation. She's like, the studio is to perfect a moment stages to have a moment. And I was like, that is literally the perfect way to say it. I could separate because I know everybody does the tricks. And like, there's shit that like even the best of the best that do it even live that I just being in music, I know what they're doing. So I'm like, everybody's doing it. So that doesn't bother me. And perfecting a moment in the studio, that's your job. You're supposed to give the best whatever take in the studio, either how many times you got to do it, however way you got to manipulate it, which everybody does. And then on stage, you could have a different moment, and I'm okay with that. So like, I don't know, but I get what you're talking about. Like, there's
if you're
certain
not
people
playing
when
the
you see
same
them
damn
live,
sport, it's not for. Don't give me football. And you come out here with some damn soccer. Like,
because have you seen Rihanna live?
Yes, and that's why I'm not on the Rihanna train. That's why
I am
honestly. That's why I am not on the Rihanna train. That's literally why I'm not on the Rihanna train like that. Because everyone's like, "Oh, her music's so good," but I'm like, "But have you seen her live?" No. There's a reason why she'd be late. Like, and she was an hour and 15 minutes late to my motherfucking concert. So that shit pissed me off even more. So
and then she'd be making you sing the song. She always does this. She's like, work. I'm like, no, bitch, I can stay my ass at home and listen to the record.
Right.
Which is fine with me. I like her records. It's perfecting a moment, which I'm cool with. But live, she might be the one that I'm like, damn, I love you, Rihanna, but live, damn it.
Yeah. I wish I could separate the two. I wish I could, but I can't. And I don't need to sound just like the track that I hear, but I want to know that like when you went to the studio, like you gave us that, not your producers gave you that. I'm not here for what the producers can do. I'm here for what you can do.
Ooh, you and that's be upset with a lot of people, then, girl.
Oh, look, and there's a reason why I listen to my same people, and I'm a ride or die to certain people because
everybody
if you can sound.
Though.
But I'm not. No. Hold on. Let me finish. I'm not saying that people don't go in there and they don't have producers. There's a reason why every album has a producer. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I know that.
But what I'm saying is, don't sell me an apple when it's a fucking orange. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not featuring that.
If I told you, like if I told you even the best of the like the
I know
national anthem.
Oh, I know it was pre-recorded too.
No,
but I know.
But here's the thing: it's two separate tracks that they pieced together.
Yes, but I know that. I know that. But it's like that for like the old school music, I'm okay with because like those moments are already here. But now being older and knowing what I know now when it comes to music, how I view it is completely different. You know, knowing what I do know now, like my standard is how I listen to people. Like I'm the type of person, if I hear an artist, because I listen to like Pandora and Spotify and I do playlists. And so when I hear a random artist, I'm like, ooh, okay, I like them. The first thing I go to is I go on YouTube and I watch live fucking concerts. I will see that. I need to see them perform live and I need to see what they're absolutely capable of before I invest my time on caring about somebody who can't really sing.
Yeah.
The thing of it is that, and I don't mean to belabor this because you know we got to hop out of here, but Mariah Carey has the chops. She has the chops. I'm not saying that she has the same chops that she had when she was back in the day, but she can still sing circles around a lot of these hoes that I hear that are screeching and scratching and
that's fair.
You know, and don't know.
That's very much fair.
And this was not even a new song. This was a remix of her old song, "We Belong Together." And
you need to check it out, Jerrell.
At least the 3 minute one that she did, just the rendition of it, it was so cold.
Yeah.
It was just so.
I agree.
It was so good. Like just every little bit was just.
And I like that she has a little darker hair right now again.
Yes.
Like, okay,
yes.
Mariah.
Yeah, it looks good on her. It looks really good on her.
You kind of forget.
But y'all also really stand for her because y'all bought her book and everything too. So I'm not
the book and the Audible.
Yeah, see, I'm not. It's hard. It's hard for me, but I'll give a listen because you know I know my aunties ain't gonna tell me nothing that I should know.
It's good.
You know,
like,
so I'm gonna listen.
This is not like it's not. It's and this is not like again. It's not new music. It's her It's just like when you go to a Beyonce concert and she redoes all of her music, like it has the same essence of it, but the whole musical arrangement is completely different. The whole vibe is completely like, so it's like it has that kind of energy.
If I listen to this album now that you just said Beyonce, and I don't get the same feeling I get when Beyonce meets something, I'm letting the community know next week.
You can come on to New York and I'll meet you outside.
Right. it's like that Mookie IG. It's like bitch. That's my favorite account right now.
Aaron, look, and she just posted one. She was like, "Wait, did I just hit myself?" I said, "Bitch, okay."
I'm like, Mookie, you are just too ratchet. And
although you need to follow these boys on TikTok from Miami, the crappies.
Wait, community, did you catch that, by the way? Where?
On TikTok, but I follow them on Instagram. They're on Instagram. That's where I see them. But I know you on TikTok, so that's what I'm telling you to go to TikTok.
Right.
But they on this, I follow them on Instagram. That's true, because that's how I know the name on Instagram. That's what they call like the crappies. But they're like these fine young men, and I think they actually all straight. But literally, like the account says, killing toxic masculinity, and it's literally just them doing TikTok videos and crop tops.
What's the name of them?
I'm like, I want to say it's like
the crappies.
Yeah, or
that sounds like a '60s music group.
Hey, look, they fine. I was sitting here like, I was like, oh, y'all okay?
They white, black. What are they?
Okay, with 2 P's.
CROPPIES or something.
I don't know if y'all can see it. Can y'all see it? Is the zoom in? No.
I'm
gonna put it in the chat. Look, right. Boom! I just put it in the.
It's our community. We over here looking at our phones.
Yes.
Right.
Because
the crop poppies.
Yeah, the crop poppies.
Oh
there you
go. She said crop.
Show did.
Look, whatever. I sure, but they cute. They cute.
Crop poppies.
Like, okay, look. Yeah. I was like, okay.
But community, she did join TikTok, by the way. That's why.
Yeah, and I'm only following Minority Report.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they cute.
Yeah, they cute. They cute.
And you know, I'm here for a crop top, so I'm all the way
here. Same. They got me feeling myself in a crop top. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to rock it. I'm ready to rock one.
I know I am ready for the summer to rock me a crop. I done lost me a few pounds. I wore it in my thickness. So shit, I'm going to definitely wear a few pounds less. Crop top season.
Look, I don't want to say Octave, but the fucking calf cone and the swimwear. I want this speedos to match mine.
I know. Hey, O'Day, send us some.
Yeah,
O'Day, yes.
O'Day,
yeah.
You see, we're gonna put this. Is gonna be the teaser. Hey, O'Day.
O'Day, look, I want some. We want some swimwear, girl. Look, let your aunties model for you, girl.
We will.
Look,
too.
you know we got cheeks. We got cheeks. We'll fill them out for you, girl.
Well, we got enough for you.
We got enough. We got enough.
Right. Enough to go around.
We got you, girl. We got you. We'll work these angles. We'll all work our angles. Oh man. But anyway, community, hang in there. Wash your hands. Wash your legs. Wash your ass. Especially your ass. Blow on the booty hole, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.